My name is Raquel. Welcome to my presentation. Today I will be speaking about leadership development and management skills. So first of all, I will be starting by speaking a bit about myself, then about the importance of leadership development, the essential leadership skills, the management skills for success, and then a bit about the benefits of leadership coaching and mentorship. So, I'm Raquel. As I said, I'm a career and leadership coach. I have been working with leadership and management development over a decade, helping people to achieve their goals in their careers. I have been doing this because just by hazard, right? So I started as managing teams, and it happened because my teams, after people left, continuously came to me asking for my help whenever they were moving their jobs or advancing in their careers. So they continued coming to me asking for advice even after they worked for me. So this kind of happened by hazard. So I have an academic background in law, but I always worked in management-related jobs, and I ended up working in finance. So it happened. But let's start. So in the first photo, it's the young me. So when I started my career on the corporate world, I had no idea whatsoever what I would do. I was studying law, and I probably thought that I would be doing something related to law. I knew that I didn't want it to be a lawyer, so that was clear to me, but aside of that, I didn't know anything else. So later, I entered into the finance world. And in the second picture, you see there a picture of London, right? So at a certain period of my career, I had an opportunity, and that opportunity was actually to go to a position in London, and I didn't want it. I had already worked abroad at the time, and I didn't want it to work abroad. I didn't want it to go to London. I didn't want that position, so I didn't want it. But I ended up accepting. I don't know why, but it was mostly against my will, but I ended up accepting. And I'm very glad that I did, because it brought me to where I am today. Sometimes, and I truly believe that sometimes are these kind of small steps and small decisions that we take in our lives that just bring us to where we should be. So, and this was clearly one of those. So, and then it's me nowadays. So without all these past versions of me, I wouldn't be here today talking to you about these topics. So let's move on. So now I will be talking a bit about the importance of leadership development. But before, I will be doing this disclaimer. I'm a leadership and career coach, but I truly believe that in any company, and it's a bit, for those of you that were hearing the last speaker, I truly believe in many of the things that she was saying that they do at her company, right? Because many of the successes of any company, it's the joint success of both company and every person that works in that company. So I truly make an effort with all my clients to work towards, even if my client is the company or my client is the individual that works for any company, to make that path to cross the person's will with the company vision. Okay, so under this point of the importance of leadership development, I will be speaking briefly about building a strong foundation, succession planning, and the adaptability to change. So when it comes to building a strong foundation, it's a critical role in the success. So we live in a fast-paced world, so we need to actually be able to be able to strengthen the organization's leadership so that they build a strong foundation to lead the companies towards success. So there is this essential investment in leadership and in leadership training, in preparing the leaders, right, to lead the company to where the company wishes or to where this person wishes to be, right? Everyone, and I truly believe that everyone doing a management role or not should know how to manage their own role or their own career, right? So all of us, having a management position or not, are managements or leaders of our own careers. So here as well, foundation for growth. So leadership development also lays the groundwork and the grounding work for the growth, both of the company and the employee. Succession planning. Many companies fail in this point because they invest too much probably in the layers of management they currently have, and sometimes they do not give enough attention to prepare any other employees for the leadership roles, right? So whenever any of the current leaders leave the company, they tend to have an unbalanced moment due to this succession planning failing, right? So this is, for me, or upon my view, it's a future-oriented leadership way. This is also a strategic succession planning. It's to ensure the sustained organizational leadership and success over time. And this also motivates all the employees. So this makes people see and believe that all of them have a place or might have a place. It's also important to groom future leaders. So be able to understand who might be prepared or not to assume these new leaderships or these future leadership positions, and prepare these people to assume them whenever the time comes. Having the adaptability to change. So this is essential, and this is something that everyone hears a lot, right? But one thing is hearing about it, another thing is doing it. But this is also a foundation for any organizational success. It's also, or should be, a focus on leadership development. So not only for the company, but once again, for any individual. So every individual should have in mind that adaptability should be always be kept in their minds. This is also a strategic imperative, right? So adaptability is also, or should be seen as a strategy. What are then the essential leadership skills? And about that, I choose here the communication, the emotional intelligence, and decision-making and problem-solving. So, upon my view, these are the key essential leadership skills for nowadays. In relation to the communication, so this is what lays the foundation of an impactful leadership, who is able to communicate clearly, is able to pass on the messages, and to clearly make anyone understand themselves. it's critical leadership imperative. So whomever is leading a company should communicate clearly. It's also a key to connection and to clarity. So whomever is communicating, he's the one responsible for the message that is being passed on. It's not whomever is listening that should be the one responsible to understand whatever it's being said by other person. So we should keep that in our minds. So I am the responsible here by whatever I am communicating to you all today. The emotional intelligence. So here is something that it's more and more talked about and analyzed and studied. I guess today we speak more about emotional intelligence than we speak about sometimes the technical abilities of someone. Because usually, and nowadays, we understand that having the emotional intelligence is sometimes more important because it gives people the bandwidth to cope with sometimes the most difficult situations that sometimes the technical abilities are not certain to give people these abilities. So this is a foundation for an effective leadership. It's not only the technical ability, but as well having this emotional intelligence. And again, for those of you that were hearing the last presenter, it's a bit understanding, okay, this person in front of me is a human being and it can have their own problems, their own lives that I'm not aware of. So I have to empathize with that and I have to understand that, right? It's not that we have to forget that we are humans because we are doing a technical work, wherever we are. It's also a key to workplace dynamics, right? So here, if we put the emotional intelligence in whatever interaction within the workplace, we influence all of dynamics between teams, between departments, between colleagues. So we can foster for a better environment in everywhere. And building these blocks of EQ, so exploring these components, it's how they contribute for building a stronger relationships by managing conflicts and all, again, just makes everyone's lives easier in the workplace. And if we think that we pass more time in the workplace than with our families, I think we have all to agree that we all have to gain if we invest more in this skill. Decision making and problem solving. So this is something that we speak a lot when it comes to leadership, but having a leader or a manager, it's a problem solver, right? So not only for making decisions, we have to have in mind that we have to be problem solvers, right? We are there, or as managers, as leaders, to solve problems, not to create them. So this is then the intersection of leadership and success, exactly because we have to understand that this is the role of a leader. It's to solve problems. And sometimes I say this to our clients, yes, like you're there as a leader to solve problems, right? And mainly if we are speaking about senior management, you're not going to your manager as a senior manager to present them with problems, right? You have to go and present them with solutions to every problem that you found. So the core of leadership skills, decision making and problem solving, plays a critical role in leadership. So again, this is a pivotal skill that guides any organization through any complex challenge. and then is a foundation for the organizational guidance. So mastering these skills, again, helps leaders to navigate the uncertainties. If we keep focused on the solution and not in the problem, this helps the organization to drive the strategic changes and to achieve their goals, giving them a strategic advantage as well. Now talking about management skills for success. So we have the strategic planning, the team building for collaboration, and the performance management. So in terms of strategic planning, I have here pointed out the strategic planning as a competitive tool, right? If we fail to plan, we are planning to fail, right? So basically here what I mean by this is that we have to understand that planning or strategic planning is what positions organizations for success and competitiveness. Laying this foundation for the organizational goals is as well the essence of the strategic planning in the management. And finally, it's the blueprint for success. So without strategic planning, the company doesn't know where to go. So we have to do this planning to give guidance and to give a purpose to the company. So team building and collaboration. So the organizational success as a team effort. So I will speak about these 3 points, the critical role of team building and the foundation for innovation and productivity, as these 3 as a whole. So in every company, there is the tendency of creating silos. So either between teams, between departments, between lines of business. So, and it comes to each one of us to avoid that and to collaborate effectively and create this spirit as working within a company as one single team, as one whole team. And this is something that we have to foster, right? It can come only from one person, but one person at a time, we can come to a point that the whole company ends up understanding this culture, right? That we all have to gain if we show a united front of working together as a team. And this also comes from each one of us individually. In terms of performance management, so the performance management, it's a bit as well like giving and receiving feedback. It just puts us all in a place of accepting this feedback, having in mind the possibilities of growth, not only growing by understanding whatever we have to improve, but as well being able to listen to the point of view or the vision that others have of ourselves. Because sometimes we have blind spots about ourselves that we are not able to see. And receiving feedback is where we are able to hear that. So performance management, it's also the greatest points that we have, not only to improve ourselves, but to know how to better serve and contribute to the organizations that we are working for. Here I will be quickly running on how leadership and coaching and mentorship can benefit anyone. So there is this personalized development, there is knowledge transfer, and here it's not performance management. So there is the personalized development. So by having the guidance or the help of a coach or a mentor, you will be guided to the path of leadership excellence, and you will be helped by unlocking your own potential, and you will be having guidance and support of someone else. So it's not something that you could not do alone, but you will be probably getting there faster and benefiting as well of this knowledge transfer. So you will be having or benefiting of someone else's experience and vision. You will be benefiting of accelerated growth, and you will be taking a shortcut for professional growth. You will also have a point for accountability and support, right? You will be remained accountable by someone that will be giving you guidance and keeping yourself accountable for whatever it's being discussed in these sessions. So this person will also be ensuring that you will be consistent and progressing as discussed. And there is these dual pillars of development that will be discussed between you and your coach or mentor. So here I have a few testimonials, and I will be quickly passing to the page of my contacts. So if any of you want this presentation, feel free to send me an email, and I will be gladly sending the presentation over to you. And I'll be just opening the space to any questions that you have.
Any questions for Raquel? Just